Hey, Friendos, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going in Raw Countout. No, I'm not back yet. When is this airing? The 18th?
Wednesday.
19th?
No, Thursday.
Thursday?
The Thursday you're gone.
All right. So, yeah.
Whatever day that is.
We're both on vacation. I'm coming back in a little while. Larson, you guys know.
I've always been here.
You guys have been watching all week. Well, you're like in the Bay Area, right? Something like
Who
that?
knows?
Yeah. Anyway.
18th.
There you go. So, yeah, as you guys know, all week we've been doing this best of 2019 so far. Today's no different. We're doing the best matches, the 10 best matches of 2019 so far. There's still plenty of time in 2019.
Oh, oodles.
For good matches to go down. SummerSlam's around the corner.
I mean, heck, we're shooting this on the 25th, just this upcoming weekend. We got Fighter Fest.
We got
Joey
Fighter
Janela
Fest.
versus Mox. Could be a barn burner.
That could be a killer match. All Out is on the 31st of August. I'm sure there'll be some contenders there as well.
Of course, you got the G1 coming up, too, which will happen opening night of G1.
Honestly, the G1 will probably... 10 of those matches will probably replace all these matches.
Well,
here.
Maybe not all of them, but a chunk of them.
Yeah, that's how it is every year. Meltzer likes to give all those matches like 5 stars.
Well, usually they're pretty good.
Yeah, usually they're pretty good. In any event, G1 hasn't happened yet, so none of those matches are on this particular list.
None.
Yeah. Took back a look and saw what's going on. Here we go. Number 10.
10.
Halftime Heat. NXT. Halftime
This match
Heat.
was nothing but pure joy.
It was the perfect showcase for why people should be watching NXT. That was the point of this. This aired on the network, right?
Yeah, during a halftime of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's right. Of course. And had they done a halftime Heat since the original halftime
Since the
Heat?
empty arena match? No.
Okay, all right. That's
No.
kind of surprising that it took all that time.
And it's interesting that rather than do something with main roster talent, they and I think this is the right choice, especially since it was on the network. They took at least the 6 most popular wrestlers in NXT, if not the 6 best at the time.
Yeah.
Put them in an amazing 6-man tag match in front of a small crowd in the Performance Center, which included a good number of NXT talents in the crowd, which actually really elevated the entertainment factor of the show for me, because we're used to seeing wrestling fans mark out about over awesome moments and awesome spots. We don't usually see that from wrestlers, and they'll do cutaways, and there's Raul Mendoza freaking out, going crazy over an awesome spot. There's Tainara Conti. We see all sorts of developmental talents in the crowd, as invested in the story playing out in the ring as all the fans are, and it's amazing.
You know, I got to experience that live firsthand.
I know you did.
It was pretty cool.
I stayed here
at the Performance Center when 2K Games sent me out to go interview wrestlers. They put on like 3 matches just for the nerds, the dorks who do 2K content. Like, we deserve it. And the entirety of NXT that weren't in the matches were watching, and it was awesome to see that. Just like the rest of humanity got to see here in halftime.
We got a little taste of what you got for...
Got a little taste what I got to see in person.
Aren't you special? What's really interesting, I went and rewatched this last night.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see how everybody has fared since. Of course, Alistair and Ricochet, they're on the main roster now. Ricochet just won the U.S. title.
Alistair's in a room somewhere.
Yeah, he's still in a room with an open door waiting for someone to come in.
His new gimmick is he doesn't understand how like matchups work. Yeah. That's good.
You got Velveteen Dream. He's a North American champion now. Gargano was during this match. And then Tommaso Ciampa was NXT champion. Then Adam Cole, in the midst of a bit of a losing streak, he took the pin in this match, in fact, after hitting or taking finishers from the entire face team virtually. He is your NXT champion now. So it's interesting to see how the fortunes of all 6 wrestlers have changed in the matter of 4.5 months. Yeah. But it's a spectacular match. It's a great showcase for what NXT has to offer. You got Shawn Michaels on commentary putting NXT over huge. It's just a blast. There's not much at stake in this match. But the story told in the ring is great. Tons of fun. Everybody gets an opportunity to shine. And it's a great introductory match. If someone says, hey, so what's the deal with this NXT? Here, watch this. The thing that I like about this most, everything you just said, but it's obvious that WWE understood that
especially that lineup, those 6 competitors were so special to NXT. I mean, I do think that NXT really hit a new peak with those guys at the helm. And everybody at the time was kind of expecting, you're in the Rumble season. You're getting to WrestleMania season eventually. This was post-Rumble.
This is like the week after the Rumble.
Right. And so you're on the road to WrestleMania already. And chances are we all knew that some of these people would end up getting called up. 2 of them did. There was the threat of 4 of them because Ciampa, who knows if Ciampa and Gargano would have gotten called up if Ciampa wasn't injured. I don't know. But everybody was sort of expecting some of these guys to be gone. And, of course, that ended up happening. But, this really was a special lineup, and it's not surprising. It's actually a pretty inspired move to make this the halftime heat.
Yeah, as a time capsule of arguably peak NXT.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to beat it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want to distill the essence of what NXT is like during 2019, latter half of 2018, this is pretty much it.
Yep, that's it. Absolutely. Great stuff. Can't wait to go back to the Performance Center and see that again.
Yeah, it'd be fun to check that out for once. Almost put on that fatal 5-way match for number 1 contender of the NXT title to whomever, Adam Cole eventually won it. That was a really fun match. To face Gargano at TakeOver New York. Just thought this one was a bit more fun.
NXT has so many, and I think this is the only NXT match we have on. No, that's right. Yeah, later on, we've got
There's plenty,
really good stuff. But my God, I mean, they just have so much amazing. I mean, you can take a look at any TakeOver and pick out matches from it. I mean, it's what NXT is, man.
Stacked.
Yeah, it's stacked.
Absolutely stacked.
And it's not going away, man. You got people like, I really do hope they make this an NXT yearly tradition too. Halftime heat. Because I mean, look who you'd got coming up, assuming everybody stays where they are. I mean, look at who you have coming up like next February, for example, or next Super Bowl. You've got guys like Matt Riddle,
Keith Lee, hopefully.
I mean, Cole's still there. Damian Priest, Gargano's still there, assuming he's still going to be there. There's still a lot of talent that's there. Kushida, put Kushida there. My God.
Yep.
And they don't seem to be slowing down on signing people.
Nope.
So
not at all.
Good stuff. Anyways, continuing on, number 9.
Okada versus Jay White at MSG,
the G1 Supercard. Main event for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Jay White had beat Okada at the previous Wrestle Kingdom, and then at New Beginning defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
We had heard that was sort of he was sort of taking the Kenny role since Kenny Omega had left for All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah. And Jay White seemingly was pushed to the main event maybe a year or two earlier than maybe he should have. Since he's debuted as Switchblade, he's seemingly week after week, month after month found a way to better embody that character. I think now with the facial hair, he's finally getting there.
Yeah.
He's looking a bit more leathery, a bit more grizzled.
Yeah.
And I just think with experience, he'll find the true voice of Switchblade Jay White. It's still a work in progress. He's super young.
I think there's an element also of his heavyweight title run maybe even being necessary to keep that growth going. Big spotlight on him.
Yeah.
Huge spotlight. And that's going to age a person.
Yeah.
That's going to build character. You take the title back off him like they did here at the G1 Supercard, and he's only going to get better. Now he has that under his belt.
Yes.
And no damage
because
done.
Here's the thing, by all accounts, he comported himself excellently in the ring.
Oh yeah,
this match is fantastic.
Yeah.
His match against Tanahashi, really good. His match against Okada at Wrestle Kingdom was really good. Just the end was a bit abrupt. But it was really the story of Okada reborn, reclaiming what is pretty much his, and that's the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. For the last 3 years, he's had that belt for a vast majority of it. And it was one thing at Wrestle Kingdom for him to be Okada reborn. The shorts came back. But in that match, he couldn't overcome the specter of Gato. This match he did.
Yeah.
And there were some great moments. There's a moment kind of halfway through where Okada goes for a Rainmaker, and kind of hearkening back to one of his matches against Kenny Omega, Jay White just collapses to avoid it. And the finish was awesome because Okada hits 2 Rainmakers, a tombstone, then a third Rainmaker to put him away.
This is one where Okada didn't he hit like a fun splash on both Gato and Okada, like going outside the barricade or something like that, or the barrier or whatever.
Yeah.
No, this is a tremendously fun match. The crowd was fantastic.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Madison Square Garden. It was a great time to do it, and Okada is still our yeah. Okay. Sometimes I just lose touch with New Japan.
He just defeated Jericho at Dominion.
Oh, that's right. Man. I was telling you earlier, I was like, oh, I got to watch that Dragon Lee match. I totally watched it already.
I thought you might have. But
there's a lot going on in wrestling right now.
True,
my head is
and
so...
your head is about 5,000 miles
it's
around
already,
the world.
I'm already gone, man. I'm already gone.
So I guess I understand that. All right. Who's Okada going to face at Wrestle Kingdom for his title? Is it going to be Naito or is it going to be Ibushi?
Like you're asking the guy who just admitted he didn't know who the heavyweight champion
kind of
was.
has to be Naito. I feel like it's got to be Naito again. I wonder if they're going to leave the door open.
So Naito has talked about having both titles, so that's cool. That could happen. I generally think that when somebody talks about something, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Undisputed Era, I think they're going to be draped in gold. Naito, I think he's going to do a twofer. I don't know. I mean, it's, again, you go back to, if it's going to happen at Wrestle Kingdom, they're going to have another title change there, where historically that doesn't really happen.
Yeah, it doesn't really ever happen.
But, it just did, so maybe they're just... All bets are off now?
Could be. That was a different circumstance because while it wasn't publicly announced, I'm not entirely sure New Japan at that time knew Kenny was leaving. I guess seeing what happened with being the Elite 3 days earlier, it's not too hard to connect the dots.
Right, no, yeah. So, obviously special circumstance, but still they did it,
Yeah.
If they were so hung up on tradition, they probably could have done it a different way at a different place. New Year's Dash even, something like that. But... yeah, I don't know. I guess it'd probably have to be Naito. They seem to be he's on an upswing now.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe this is a true redemption tale after
a
couple of years of misery.
Whoa.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Number 8. Will Ospreay versus Dragon Lee for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship.
This is at Dominion. Oh man. I could have easily put at least 4 Will Ospreay matches on this list.
What a mark.
No, he's just had a really good run, especially the best of Super Juniors. So this match is on here, and obviously his match against Shingo Takagi is on here. I'm not going to tell you when.
Spoiler alert,
I'm not going to say where. I've really enjoyed Will's match against El Phantasmo because it was so different than any other Ospreay match I'd seen. Because
it was more of a brawl.
It was a brawl.
Yeah.
Will starts out just going after El Phantasmo. The story is that Will is going after some measure of retribution against LP. I think that's for beating him in the past. I'm not sure exactly. And so it's a brawl. They go up into the crowd at Kurikan Hall, and they come back down. And it's a super physical match. There's some high flying stuff.
Did anybody roll down the stairs?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
nice.
I believe Will did a little bit.
Didn't Takahashi roll down?
Yeah, in last year's final for the best Super Junior. Yeah, they kind of harken back to that because it was in the same area where they were.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
That's a really fun match. The finish of Ospreay's match against Bandito at Best of Super Juniors is crazy and really cool, and there's some really cool moments there. But I kind of settled on the 2 most high-profile matches.
Yeah, sure.
Of that run. This being the second at Dominion for the title, and there's that spot where Dragon Lee lays out Ospreay with that suicide dive while Ospreay's kind of supported up on the barricade. But just the effort and the story and the creativity of this match is all off the charts.
Who's got a better suicide dive, Dragon Lee or Ray Phoenix? I was gonna say Phoenix.
Ray Phoenix. Oh god, that's a tough choice.
They both like going in the crowd,
and they both they jump out like they're shot out of a cannon.
I know. Who do you think could go further into the crowd?
Here's the thing. I feel like Ray Phoenix might cause more damage.
Yeah, sure.
Because he doesn't just go head first. He goes through the ropes and does a half flip.
Yeah.
So he's kind of doing a flying senton.
Yeah.
So I think he could take more people out.
Yeah.
Where I haven't seen Dragon Lee do that. He just does a traditional suicide dive.
Yeah.
I'll give the edge to Ray Phoenix, but limited sample size.
On top of that, Ray Phoenix has the benefit of knowing that he's doing it, and when he does it, to the degree that he can do it, it's in AAA, and nobody really cares if you take out a bunch of people,
he took out,
including the wife of the president of the company.
Yeah.
That's great.
Ray Phoenix. We'll talk about Ray Phoenix more later on.
Just tremendous.
Yes, awesome. A lot of great spots. I'm not going to go through it all. But to see Ospreay go through the journey he did in Best of Super Juniors. Best Shingo, who at the time was undefeated in New Japan, and then to go and to claim the title for I think the third or fourth time. It's been a spectacular run for him.
And there's something about this time that just seems more special. I mean, many people have made this comparison. They're saying he's going to be the guy that they're going to look to, and he's taken it upon himself to sort of fill the hole that Kenny Omega has left in terms of having a best bout machine run.
Yeah.
And he's even said, obviously he wants to be in the G1. He's going to be in the G1. And he wants to take on not just juniors, but he wants to take on heavyweights.
Yeah.
So and he's bulking up.
And he's moved to Japan.
He's moved to Japan, and he does seem to be transitioning in certain ways to a style that will prolong his career.
Yeah.
Because the way he was going a year or two ago, it was he was going to be done by the time he was 30.
Yeah, it was going to be in terms of the breakdown of his body. I'd heard people speculating it could be like a Dynamite Kid situation where. He put his body on the line so often, work hurt, that it seemed like a near certainty that by the time he was 30, he wouldn't be able to perform at that same level anymore.
Yeah.
He's adapted his style, bulked up, is a bit more picky about when he does the crazy spots.
Which I appreciate.
It makes him all the more effective.
I appreciate that so much. I don't like to see. Look, it's funny because you see this stuff happen in New Japan, and example the Kota Ibushi Naito bit where they on the apron, Kota Ibushi's neck went the wrong way. And we saw that with Marty Scurll and Ospreay last year. And it's just I'm not a fan of seeing guys really hurt themselves. I know this is wrestling and its physicality and for the drama they do certain things. But my thing is, if you can tell a great story in the ring, that's all I'm asking for.
Yes.
All the other, stuff is superfluous to that. I just want a really good story, and he seems to be really, really taking that aspect of things much more seriously now, as opposed to just relying on the flippy stuff.
Yeah, doing all sorts of crazy spots and all sorts of super athletic. 'Cause he's still immensely athletic, and he's just found a better way to incorporate his immense athleticism into telling a good story.
Yeah, definitely a special wrestler.
Yes. While Steve here is still on vacation, business keeps going here on Going in Raw. So before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Lightstream. Are you tired of credit card bills with their astronomically high interest rates? Are you ready to pay off your credit card balance and start saving some money? If you are, then get yourself a credit card consolidation load from Lightstream and get a rate as low as 5.95% APR with autopay. You can get a loan from $5,000 all the way up to $10,000, all with no fees. The application process is super easy. You can actually do it right now on your phone, and you can get your money as soon as the day you apply. Right now, Friendos can get a special interest rate discount by going to lightstream.com/GIR. That's lightstream.com/GIR. Loans are subject to credit approval. Rates include a 0.5% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/GIR for more information. Thank you to Lightstream for sponsoring today's show, and you're really helping out Going in Raw by going to lightstream.com/GIR.
Number 7. SmackDown Gauntlet match.
So this is the first Gauntlet match in the lead up to Elimination Chamber. Took place February 12th, 2019.
An injured Mustafa Ali was replaced by Kofi Kingston in this match, and Kofi went on. This is speculation. I'm not sure if anybody's actually pinned this down, but it's pretty obvious. Kofi Kingston ran the gauntlet the way Mustafa Ali probably would have to launch him into contendership, which was the rumor at the time.
Yeah.
And it launched Kofi Kingston into a whole new strata of his own.
Not just contendership to championship.
To Mania championship win.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was an amazing performance, comparable to what Seth did the year prior in a similar situation. Although, considering the circumstances, Kofi's performance may have eclipsed Seth because it literally launched him into winning a title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Seth wasn't that fortunate.
Right.
So these are the people that Kofi had to defeat during the course of his run. He beat then champion Daniel Bryan. Following that up, he beat Jeff Hardy. And then, by this point, pretty much already beat Samoa Joe with a roll up, and then Joe beat him up a ton.
Yeah.
And then AJ comes out, gets Joe off Kofi. And there's this great moment in the ring where AJ says to Kofi, "You don't have to fight. You don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself through hell to get to this match. You don't have to do this anymore. It's fine." And Kofi gets in his face and says, "Come on, fight me."
Starts pushing him.
He starts like hitting himself, like, "Fight me, come on."
Yeah, come on.
And pie faces AJ essentially. So they fight, and the story of that particular segment of the match is AJ's is working over Kofi's leg, and which eventually leads to Kofi tapping out to a calf crusher. And the New Day come out and they help him backstage to a standing ovation. It was one of those performances that reminded the crowd of how great Kofi is, not just in terms of his athleticism, which is incredible, because we've seen him do all sorts of awesome, incredible spots for the Rumble. So everybody knows he's a world-class athlete.
Yeah.
Not only in terms of his wrestling ability, but in how well he could tell a story. Just that moment I mentioned with AJ, where he's getting in AJ's face, because AJ's like, "Hey, we all respect you. You don't have to do this.
You've done enough.
You've done enough."
Yeah. Of course, the subtext there is just forfeit.
Yeah.
Just walk away and let me.
Yeah. Just lay down. Let me get a W.
Exactly.
And the passion which he was up in AJ's face, who was still at the time top guy at SmackDown. Yeah. Saying, "Come on, fight me." I'm not backing down from anybody. I want this opportunity. I need to go out here and as Kofi Kingston, prove myself again. And it was just awesome.
Yeah.
And it was like universally across the board. It was like, "Oh yeah, Kofi Mania. This needs to happen."
Kofi turned a corner here, and it was this sort of sleeping giant was awake, and yeah, like you said, it propelled him. Of course, he had to go through another gauntlet, and then the New Day had to go through their own gauntlet.
Yeah, there's a bunch of gauntlets.
And both of those matches also were very, very special in their own way as well. Of course, there was a moment with the Usos and the New Day, and that was something else. And then finally, in the end, Vince says,
He's got it.
B plus player.
B plus player. I mean, Daniel Bryan. Oh.
But kind of the forgotten aspect of this gauntlet match, which I actually kind of forgot about until I reviewed my notes, is that after AJ beats Kofi, Randy Orton runs in through the crowd, hits an RKO on AJ, and wins. So he enters the Elimination Chamber match last, actually. But in the span of like 90 seconds, they managed to establish Kofi as a contender for the title. AJ, of course, was already there. And then they kind of kickstart the feud between AJ and Randy Orton for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Just in terms of getting a lot of storytelling done in about 90 seconds, it was actually a pretty well done bit.
Well, the great thing about it, too, is that they have that hard finish. Well, obviously, it's a SmackDown. They've always had it. And that the finish to Kofi AJ, when all was said and done, it was time for Orton, it was like 20 seconds before 8 o'clock, before the hard quit to the show.
Super quick.
And so it's literally just like there are just enough seconds for Orton to run in, hit the RKO out of nowhere, and then get the pin. And as soon as he put his hands up to pose, that's it. That show. So all this happened in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It was pretty amazing. It was really something else. And boy, oh boy, SmackDown was firing on all cylinders.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Too bad it's not the same right now.
Well,
thanks, Wild Card Rule.
You know what? We'll get it back one day. We'll get it back.
I hope so, Steve. I hope so.
Moving on, number 6.
6.
The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros. Hold on. Do it again. There you go.
You're supposed to do it, too.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. So we got to see this live at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, it was awesome. I love the kind of, especially for the initial part of the match, story for the Young Bucks is they got ring rust.
Yeah. I like that. They were all over the place. They did not have nearly the chemistry they're used to. Evidently, it's not like riding a bike, Larson.
No.
You can't just get up and everything's fine. You need to keep on doing it. Like you said, that was the build to this on Being the Elite, was ring rust. And, of course, they had beaten Lucha Brothers in an impromptu match at, was it Triple Main?
It was Rey de Reyes.
Rey de Reyes, yeah. So they came into this with the AAA tag titles. We kind of figured it was a foregone conclusion that they would just drop them here. But no, that didn't happen until later because they kept them here.
Yeah, and they lost them at the subsequent AAA show.
A
few weeks back. We were talking about Rey Fenix earlier. And there is a spot in this match that blew my mind. So he's pretty comfortable walking, jumping up and down the ropes, all that kind of stuff. From the second rope to the third rope, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So there is a spot where he's up there. He's got on one side of him, one young buck. On the other side, another one. And while standing on the top rope, manages to super kick one of them and then jump over and do a Hurricane Rana off the top rope onto the other one.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy.
Absolutely insane.
I keep on meaning I meant to like go back and get Double or Nothing, but I don't know if they have a discount after the fact.
I don't know either.
Because I don't really want to pay $50 for something that happened like a while ago, and I already saw it live.
Yeah, I don't know. And also, I mentioned this great spot where Penta was on the apron. He jumps off his brother's back, hits, I think, Nick Jackson with a destroyer, and then back in the ring, Phoenix does a springboard and does a destroyer on the other Young Buck. Just absolutely insane stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. But then, the story was the Young Bucks eventually get the ring rust off. They hit their patented stuff. We saw Matt give a shout out to El Generico with a brainbuster on the turnbuckle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, boy.
We got to see Pentagon break Matt's arm. We got to see Pentagon do the gory bomb package pile driver combo. But in the end, Young Bucks picked up the win with a Meltzer driver.
Yep. So the Elite were going over at
except for
Double
Kenny.
or Nothing, except for Kenny. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, just terrific stuff.
Yeah, one of the best tag matches I've seen in a long time.
It was electric being there live. That was just a fantastic weekend. We had, of course, Friendo Fest.
Yeah.
60 people showing up.
Yeah, man, that was great.
Friendos. Holy moly. I wonder it's jury's still out when Friendo Fest 2 will be taking place.
Yeah.
Unknown. Right?
Unknown, yes. Unknown as of now, but maybe by the time this airs, it will still be unknown.
Maybe not. Anyways, let's move on. Number 5. Walter
Thank you.
versus Peter Dunne.
Thank you.
Pete Dunne.
This is like
at, NXT TakeOver Blackpool.
Yeah.
NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool.
No. This is in New York.
NXT what?
It was in New York.
This is a TakeOver. That's right.
Yeah, TakeOver New York.
That's right.
This is like Walter's first real proper one-on-one match. Like he had other matches that were more or less squash matches. Well, I guess he had a match against Mark Coffey that was a little more elongated, I think.
His first match was against Jack Stars.
Yeah, that wasn't much of a match, though.
That wasn't a match.
But I think he had a match against Mark Coffey before this one. That actually was given more than like 3 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, this was a long, proper showcase for why Walter is going to be a huge part of NXT UK going forward. Mm-hmm. This is one of those matches that just hurt to watch.
Yeah.
And it's not just because Walter was chopping the hell out of Pete Dunne's chest and back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the back, yeah.
It was just, it just hurt. It hurt to watch between the chops, Pete Dunne stretching Walter, working over his joints. You had a bit where they were trading Danielson stomps. That means grabbing the arms and kicking the other person in the head.
Yeah, both of their arsenals are things that look like they really hurt. Like the fact that that noise that comes from that.
No, it's this. It's the arm smacking the rib
Oh,
cage.
That's right. It's just this.
Yeah.
That's right. That still looks like it hurts though.
I know.
Like, I mean, I'm not sure how soft you can do this.
Well, I think the key is you don't keep the wrists. This is the speculation. Rigid. If you keep the wrist rigid, then it's going to do this. But you keep the wrist kind of loose.
Yeah.
And so you're just doing this.
Yeah.
Well, maintaining more or less the same position for the hands.
Yeah. But man, all that stuff. But even so, even if the noises aren't real, when they do the stuff that's like that hurts. This hurts.
I know.
And they like go, oh man.
They go back pretty far, I know.
I don't have very stretching. I'm sure they do their.
Yeah, they got to stretch that. They got to stretch that out,
a
man.
lot, but oh my god, that's boy.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, how far back I can go?
How far back can you go?
That's okay.
Is that good? Oh wow, it's pretty good actually.
Like that's okay.
Oh,
Hurts a little bit.
looks like it hurts.
But that's me doing it to myself. If someone else was doing it and not. So
and you don't want to be a little, you don't want to be a little bee and be like, oh god, that hurts.
It's like no, my finger.
No. Right?
Please, Peter Dunne, don't hurt
Please
me.
don't hurt me
No, I
now.
don't want to do that.
You don't be that.
I don't want to do that.
And then of course, obviously the Walter chops.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all. This match just really hurt.
Yeah, it hurt. It hurt bad. And it had the right amount of clumsy to it.
Mm-hmm.
That made it feel like a real fight.
Yeah.
There were a ton of power bombs in it. Some top rope spots. Finished with Walter hitting a power bomb off the second rope to escape a triangle.
I have zero bendability right here.
Yeah.
Like
how
yours
flexible
go back like that. Do yours again? Oh my god, hold on. That's impressive. Look, mine don't do anything.
How flexible are you overall, though?
Look at me.
Well, I mean,
I'm not.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no, not really.
I've gotten a bit more flexible.
I need to do more yoga. I need to do yoga.
No, I found doing deadlifts will help you get your hamstrings loosened up and get them stronger.
That's cool. I want to do yoga.
Yeah, yoga's good for that too. But you should start doing deadlifts.
Yeah.
Don't do heavy weight, just do deadlifts.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, man. Probably not. Anyways, continue with the match.
Oh, yeah. So, the finish. Walter's on the top rope. Peter Dune's up there, breaks the fingers, puts Walter in a triangle type deal. And then Walter uses his immense strength, picks up Peter Dunne, drops him with the powerbomb from the second rope, and then hits a huge splash off the top rope.
Big, giant baby man splash.
Yeah, for the win.
Big German baby.
Again, just felt like it hurt. Everything just felt like it really hurt.
Who takes that title off of Walter? Walter.
I don't know. Marcel Bartel. I don't know. I'd like to say Jordan Devlin if they can recreate what happened at OTT, but I don't know if that's going to happen because I think Jordan Devlin.
Didn't he just? No, Travis Banks won that.
Yeah, he's got his match on it.
I think you're right. I think that they have the blueprint for how to do it, and it's Jordan Devlin.
Yeah, they might think it's going to be Ilya because apparently he and Ilya and Walter had a really good program in WXW.
I don't see that. I would have to be so. I am in such a hole in terms of being convinced that Ilya is legit that I
want to see him in a real match.
Yeah. Well, he kind of had one with Joe Connors. Joe Connors is no Jack Stars yet.
I know, but
it feels like it.
He's basically he's not a complete pushover, but he hasn't won a match in forever.
But it was a match.
But it wasn't terribly competitive.
All right. So you're talking about you want to see Ilya versus like a Tyler Bate.
Yes.
Right.
Or a Travis Banks.
Yeah, or a Travis Banks.
An upper mid-card face or heel. I don't know. I guess Ilya's kind of a face.
I don't know, man. I think people connect.
Give me Ilya versus Joe Coffey.
Jordan Devlin. Yeah, that'd be good. Jordan Devlin is so ingrained in the hearts and minds of that scene.
And he's amazing.
Well, beyond the fact that he's amazing, he is so woven into the fabric as one of the most legitimate guys there. I think thanks in part to the OTT stuff.
Yeah.
They have that blueprint. That crowd would go absolutely maniacal for Jordan Devlin, and you do the thing where you don't have him start being cool with the crowd. Keep Jordan Devlin, but just, oh man.
Tweener.
He's so good.
Tweener.
He's so good. Yeah, Tweener, exactly.
Yeah.
And I have faith that UK will do it.
Yeah.
I don't know who. It's probably Triple H. I don't know who really runs that stuff.
I don't know either.
Well, it's Sid Scala.
Oh, yeah, sorry. How can I doubt Sid?
It's Sid Scala's the shadow government.
Yeah.
For what's his face?
Johnny Saint.
The puppet Johnny
Saint. This new gimmick, Deep State Sid Scala.
Deep State Sid Scala.
That's a mouthful.
Try to say that 10 times fast. Savvy Sid.
Psycho Sid. Savvy Sid.
Savvy Sid.
Deep State Sid.
Deep State Sid. That's good. All right, let's keep on going here. Oh, yeah, Walter won that match.
Yeah.
Number 4. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. In terms of emotion, oh, man. And on top of that, it was just a damn good match.
It was an awesome match. Yeah. I don't know if maybe the match at number 2 is the closest rival in terms of emotion. But you get emotion, you get history. There's so much going into this match, going into it that the match was wrestled that played into the emotion of the match. Going into it, you have the story of Kofi, who his path to this match mirrored Daniel Bryan just 5 years ago. Someone who got the crowd behind him and was pushed by the WWE Universe into a title match. And his foil this time around is not, in Daniel Bryan's case, Randy Orton and Dave Batista, two guys, although Batista just returned, deeply ingrained in a very specific period of WWE, that being the mid-aughts. What we have now is Kofi facing off with the guy who was in his position 5 years ago, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is now the one calling Kofi the B-plus player. And Vince is now the one calling Kofi
the B-plus player.
So just that story unto itself, the emotion of the moment, the tenure that Kofi had with the company leading up to this, the history-making aspect of the match. Everything leading up to it was such a cathartic, emotional moment when Kofi finally won.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I really want to watch the main event for WrestleMania 30 and this back-to-back to see if any parallels or
I'm sure there
references.
Are. Yeah, that would not surprise me at all. Daniel Bryan is a very savvy guy, too.
Yep.
Yeah, to see Kofi celebrate with his family, celebrate with the New Day.
And have New Day bring back the WWE title.
That was...
Get rid of the green one. Although I like the green one.
I think going into it, didn't you and I both agreed that out of the 3 big matches, which all ended up going the way
of face wins.
Face wins. That was one that most likely was going to be
this one.
Yeah, you had some reservations about this.
I didn't have reservations about it. I thought it might have been a scenario.
Well,
where
Vince might be Vince. What was your point?
The point was that Vince might not have Kofi win it here. It's the heat for heat's sake thing.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Where rather than having an awesome, cathartic, emotional moment that everybody could celebrate in unison in this giant stadium, 70,000 people celebrating in unison, that he would be like, okay, I'm going to give him Seth and Becky as champion. So we'll have Daniel Bryan win. He'll be like he'll have all the heat in the world on him.
Yeah.
And then maybe down the line we'll give Kofi the belt.
Yeah.
I saw that as a distinct possibility. Happy it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, totally. Because there's a history there in the WWE, kind of stuff.
Yes. And we didn't think that they would give the fans what they wanted in all 3 instances. We thought 2 out of 3 maybe, but not all 3 of them. But the way they spaced it out in the card, and the card was like 10 hours long.
Yeah.
By the time Kofi and Daniel Bryan's match happened, Seth had just won the Universal title 3 hours prior.
Yeah, the length of basically a pay-per-view.
A normal pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then 3 hours forward, Becky Lynch would win.
Yeah.
So in that sense, they booked the card right to space those things out. So you have and they booked the wins all completely differently. Seth pretty much had to cheat to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It took a shot to the front area.
Yep.
Even without kind of the botchy nature of the finish of the main event, it took a roll-up from Becky to beat Ronda. This was the most definitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Kofi bested Daniel Bryan in a wrestling match.
Yeah.
No outside interference. No cheap shots.
No weird shoulder up finish type situation.
No.
Ref getting confused and
none
sweaty.
of that. It was definitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Moving on, number 3. Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. You can take your pick, 1 or 2.
2.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd probably go. I like best 2 out of 3 falls match.
I do too.
I know the finish. I know, but there is something like a little. Most matches you want them to leave you with a memorable hook, a memorable thing. And Gargano playing Roman Reigns and kicking out of everything is kind of the memorable thing, like it or not, about that first match. The second match was just a damn good match.
The second match was a really well-told, well-paced story.
Mm-hmm.
That it was literally the thing where you could have run him over with a bus, he would have kicked out.
That was in the first one.
The first one, yeah. It was just too much. It was cartoonish. It was over the top, and I feel like they realized that. And the second match felt way more grounded.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
And for that reason, it was way more effective. It had nothing to do with competitors.
Mm-hmm.
I like Adam Cole a lot. I wasn't so much upset that he lost. I was upset that he lost in such a cartoonish, over-the-top fashion.
He got so much flack for
that. I know.
Your guy doesn't win, so you get.
And it didn't really have. If the finish to the first match was as grounded as believable as the second match, I've been, wow, that was a hell of a match.
I honestly believe that if it had gone the other way and Adam Cole was kicking out of everything, it would have felt cheaper for Adam Cole if that was the case. And this, to have won it that way. And this, I just thought, you're right, I just thought that it was silly, and it made Adam Cole's finishers look weak, which they've kind of just established that his finishers are just weak. He needs multiples.
He has to do a combo of Panama Sunrise and then last shot to win a match now. Yeah, no.
Which I can watch Panama Sunrise all day long.
It's spectacular. Those are great. And I think Halftime Heat was the first time he had done that.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just. I mean, at the end of that first match, Undisputed Era looked like a bunch of bumbling fools. Just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, but people love that match. People love that match. So
I know.
And we're so because I agree with you. I know that the kick out stuff is kind of hard to digest. But it is funny that we were so in the minority on this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like Meltzer gave it like 5.5 stars, something like that.
What did he give?
5.25.
5.25 versus 5.5. Yeah.
Just for me, like guy who can kick out of anything isn't that compelling of a story.
Meltzer loves the PWG stuff, and that's such a PWG. Is just kick out of everything over and over again. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely turning into one of the better stories of the year. Obviously, I mean, it's not given the injury of Tommaso Ciampa. The story doesn't have that level of emotional complexity, but it's a different thing.
It's a completely different thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have stories like Gargano Ciampa are once in a generation. Stories with that amount of emotion, that amount of depth.
I love that the Undisputed Era and Adam Cole, their motivation versus Ciampa's motivations are so different. They're different animals. They're different beasts. The Undisputed Era, they want to run NXT. I mean, Adam Cole said, even Triple H won't be able to stop us. I mean, calling out
the boss,
the hierarchy, the authority there. Whereas with Ciampa, it was all personal. He just wanted he named the title Goldie.
Yeah. He personified it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but no, both matches. Even if you take out the silly finish at the end of the 2 out of 3 falls match, the rest of the match.
Oh, it's great.
Is spectacular.
Yeah. I mean,
just
in terms of the effort both these guys put into both matches, it's just unquestionably some really great stuff. And it's not on them that it was kind of overbooked towards the end.
Yeah, good stuff. Number 2. Cody versus Dustin at All or Double or Nothing, all out.
All double or nothing out.
Yeah.
Talk about emotion.
Yes.
This match was pure emotion. The story of Cody cleansing Dustin of his sins of being WWE, essentially.
Right. Well, Cody wanted to destroy the Attitude Era.
Yes.
And it even featured, in a very cheesy moment at the beginning, him taking a sledgehammer to a fake breakaway chair.
Yeah.
Throne, Triple H's throne.
Yeah.
And in fact, like the match, like stunned me with just how good the storytelling was. Dustin, of course, memorable for bleeding all over the place. A ton. My God, though, the storytelling and the emotion in this match were next level.
Because you got the match like the Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers match, which is going to be filled with a bunch of amazing spots. And the Cody and Dustin match, the high impact spots were kept to an absolute minimum to make them as impactful as possible in relation to the story being told.
Yeah.
Because you didn't see anything terribly crazy till Dustin hits like a destroyer powerbomb. And that was like 2/3 of the way through the match.
That was crazy, yeah.
Beyond that, it was some submission holds, a lot of strikes. At one point, Dustin gets Cody set up in the corner for a front area kick. Cody takes off the turnbuckle cover and throws it towards Dustin. Dustin tosses the crowd, charges towards Cody. Cody gets off the rope, and Dustin hits head first into the exposed turnbuckle, and then he starts just bleeding everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And then Cody takes off his weight belt. Dustin gets it, pulls down Cody's pants and starts spanking him with it.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when business really started picking up. We saw the aforementioned Destroyer Powerbomb. Dustin hits a superplex and a final cut for 2. Dustin goes for Crossroads. Cody hits a low blow. He hits Disaster Kick and Crossroads for a 2. Dustin hits another or final cut. He gets a 2, but then Cody hits a vertebreaker. Crossroads for the win. But they really brought it home after the match. Cody grabs the mic and says, hey, I got a match coming up at Fight for the Fallen against the Young Bucks. I don't have anybody to fight with as a partner. But right now, I don't need a friend. I don't need a partner. I need my older brother.
Yeah. But he said it in a way that was like echoed sort of Kirk at the end of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, Superman 2.
Yeah.
Through tears.
Did you say Superman 2?
Oh, oops. Star Trek 2.
That's great. That'd be awesome if Kirk was in Superman 2.
Would he be Superman or Zod, though?
He'd be Kirk.
Oh, just Kirk in there.
He'd be a triple threat.
Oh, gotcha. Zod, you are now human.
I don't think anybody in the crowd expected this match to be what it was. I certainly didn't. I got up to go get some food. And I was watching it on the monitor, and there I was like, man, this is really shaping up to be a decent match.
Yeah.
And then I go back out there, and that's when business really started picking up, and the crowd was just like eating it up. And it was like, people just sort of expect this to be like a WWE match.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
And it wasn't that at all.
It was like an old school, I don't know, like late 70s, early 80s
like you
match.
expected it to be that, but holy crap, the emotion.
Like in terms of the level of physicality of it, in terms of how the match was wrestled, especially the first half, it felt very much like that, but with an emphasis on storytelling that you see far more often
Yeah,
today.
exactly, yeah.
With other, it wasn't just the story of one man fighting another, but there was stuff going on, and it helped. They had those awesome video packages leading up to it.
Man, that is another thing that I really hope, and I mean, this was our first look at what All Elite could potentially look like on a weekly television basis, and the video packages were
so good.
so wonderfully done. I mean, there was some, throughout the show, there was some cheesiness, some goofiness, and there's a time and place for that. But man, they brought the drama when they had to, which is fortuitous for TNT.
Yeah,
because they know
drama.
Yeah. Anyways, let's do the best match now of the year so far. Number 1, you mentioned it earlier, Will Ospreay versus Shingo Takagi. Oh my gosh. Best of the Super Juniors finals.
Oh gosh,
crazy!
This match hurt to watch.
But it was actually just, if you're watching on YouTube,
it was like a couple of rams.
It was a half hour of them on all fours
jockeying for position, butting heads. Yes,
no,
that's why I felt like it hurt.
It did. This match did look like it hurt, man.
Because Shingo works so damn stiff.
Yeah.
Even his worked punches, like he gets so in the corner, starts jabbing him. Gosh,
I know.
Look like they hurt.
Well, yeah, man.
So going into this, you had
he ain't no Shane McMahon.
No, you had Shingo, who had been undefeated during his run in New Japan Pro Wrestling, had run the table in the tournament thus far.
Right.
You can start doing this too. And what seemed basically basic.
Sorry, go ahead.
Shingo seemed basically unstoppable.
Yeah.
And commentary mentioned several times where every time an opponent thought they had Shingo on the ropes, ready to take the loss, he would come back and win. Like none of his matches lasted very long. He just ran through the field.
Yeah.
Whereas Ospreay, he had to scratch and claw for every one of his wins, seemingly. Like a lot of his matches went over 20 minutes. His match against LP was over 20 minutes. The match against Bandito was like 15 or 18. He had to really work for every one of his wins. And so you have Shingo, who seems unstoppable, against Ospreay, who had actually only lost 2 matches, one to LP, one to Robbie Eagles. So it wasn't like he stumbled into the final by any stretch of the imagination. On a collision course, and could Ospreay be the one to finally stop Shingo? The answer was yes.
Yes, he did.
And did it in spectacular fashion. Absolutely spectacular fashion. Yeah. Just the ebbs and flow and the storytelling of the match and all the near falls and all the ridiculous, crazy spots.
This is like a
35-minute match.
35-minute match, I think it was. I want to say it was like almost 40.
And it never let up.
Yeah.
Never let up.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't stop. Like, I couldn't look at my phone at all. It's just an absolute terrific match, and it really did. Like, after this match, everybody was talking about it, and you really got a sense, with this coupled, especially with the Dragon Lee match afterwards at Dominion, you got a sense that, oh man, Ospreay, you can always sort of tell when somebody's doing something that's special, and they're taking that next step. And this was the first bit of that. And on top of that, not just for Ospreay, but for Shingo, who unfortunately had a match against Kojima at Dominion, which was a fine match.
Yeah, it was fine.
It just, I kind of feel like they probably should have put him in with somebody who's a bit more current.
Oh, I know, but if the idea is that Shingo wants to test his mettle against heavyweights, and you got Kojima, who's been with New Japan forever. I know he's a former champion, and someone kind of low enough on the card.
What did Suzuki do at Dominion? He had that tag match.
He had a tag match, yeah.
Yeah, put him in there against Suzuki.
I mean, that's great.
Because it's one thing to go against like a heavyweight, but if you really want to prove yourself, maybe somebody who's under 70 years old would be good.
What about if you really want to test the metal against a heavyweight, put him in there against Bad Luck Fale.
Exactly. Or Haystacks Calhoun.
Or Leo Tonga.
Well, he's just really tall.
Yeah, but still.
Or Big Daddy. Isn't that what they call it? There's that dude in England named Big Daddy.
Isn't that Haystacks Calhoun under a different name?
Is it?
Or are they two different wrestlers?
No, you might be right. Oh, man.
Well, I was just trying to think of wrestlers currently on the New Japan roster.
Yeah.
Not historically.
Oh, just historically.
Not historical super heavyweights. Yes.
All right. I thought we were going to
go. Hence, Bad Luck Fale. He's probably the largest competitor in New Japan.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah. Big Daddy wrestler.
Anyway, this match is spectacular. I'm excited to see what both Shingo and Will do in the G1.
Yeah, no, different people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that Shingo was in Best of Super Juniors because I don't know if he is really a junior heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's a thick dude.
Yeah, he doesn't look anything close to being a 205 guy.
Well, I mean, in New Japan, it's 220 pounds.
Yeah. I'm just saying, he doesn't look like a.
Well, he's billed at 212.
You put him in there against like Dragon Lee, and it's like, what? Really? He's thick.
Yeah, he is thick.
He's thick. He's got. I mean, he kind of like physically, he kind of looks like a dude over 50. Like if you don't look at his face, if you just look at his physique, because he has kind of like I'm not gonna say a belly at all, but he's not like trim in the midsection. Is my point.
He's thick.
He's thick.
He's thick. He's muscular. He's thick.
Yeah.
Well, he still did that tope in this match. That was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of velocity. I was worried he was going to break his leg like TK Orion did a couple years back in the same kind of spot because his legs hit the barricade.
But I think even his legs are probably thick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's just a thick dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, awesome, incredible match. If you haven't checked it out, please do.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. If anybody out there hasn't checked out New Japan World, the streaming service, it's freaking fantastic. It is so good, and it's like the interface leaves a little bit to be desired. But when I needed to re-watch that Ospreay Dragon Lee match today, I just typed in their names and it came up. It was the first one to come up.
You should have watched. Once you realized you'd seen that match, you should have watched Kota Ibushi against Shinsuke Nakamura Wrestle Kingdom 9.
I know. I will.
No, you won't. You're lying to me. Watch it on the flight.
Can you download stuff?
I don't think so.
I don't think you can do that.
No, I don't think there's offline viewing.
Maybe I'll see if I can just like rip a copy from the dark web.
Oh God!
I'll try to do that. I'll get like a deep fake version of Shinsuke versus Kota Ibushi.
It's like 15 minutes. You don't have 15 minutes to spare.
It's times are tight. Times are really tight.
You're really missing out.
Yeah. Anyways, I want to say thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Yes.
We'll be back in full force this coming Monday.
Yes.
I'm going to be so tired.
You are. You're going to be jet lagged.
That was a bad move on my part. I should have been like, I'm taking
doing.
Monday out. But I'm going to do it anyways.
And thanks to Lightstream for sponsoring today's episode. Go to lightstream.com/GIR.
Absolutely. And thanks for tuning in. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.